What's up, y'all? We're going to take a look at DSP's post-marathon cope session, some of the freakouts he had last night, and just debunk some of the bullshit and some of the blame that he's trying to push off. We're going to talk about that. So strap in. Let's get into it, y'all.
Came out of yesterday's marathon, for sure. Like, we determined.
This dude has his own chat revolting against him right now. You got DSP, the insults toward those of us who donate and recommend the games was unacceptable. It's rude and unfair, and unless there's an apology, I cannot continue supporting. That's Cade, who always likes to shit on the trolls, and it looks like he may be becoming one now.
Some really good things about not only the future, but some future playthroughs and things like that. So I'm excited for that, because like I said, every time that we do any kind of a marathon where we're doing a variety of games, my goal is that we can at least get something out of each event that we do, right? And I do feel like we did get that yesterday, that now we know a couple of playthroughs or maybe not necessarily playthroughs, but games that we can play on and off in the rotation. And quite honestly, I think we learned exactly how to handle stuff moving forward when it comes to these kind of events, all right? So...
Really? Because it seems like you handled almost everything incorrectly, but that's just my opinion.
We're going to talk about that today. But also, I want it to be a normal day. You know, the marathon is over. I want to get back into normalcy. I can't wait to talk about game news today. So first off, I kind of mentioned this very briefly yesterday, but never really, talked too much about it. Yesterday just started off on the wrong foot.
First of all, this guy needs to apologize to his audience before he does anything, because he acted like a complete dickhead to everybody in his chat yesterday because he thought everybody was a troll that nominated the games and basically treated everybody like shit. And if you were an actual DSP fan, if they're even out there, and you nominated one of those games, you were included in that group of people who was called a troll and a moron and insulted for ruining DSP's marathon stream. But instead of that, instead of him apologizing right off the bat, being like, hey, I got off on the wrong foot, things just weren't great, he's going to go into his sob story that he already told yesterday. He knocked his monitor on the ground and cracked his monitor. And this is just sympathy points. He's trying to gain the audience's sympathy as to why he was such a dickhead yesterday. Let's listen.
Right from the get-go. And what do I mean by that? So yesterday, I was setting up for the marathon. And as I was setting up over there for the marathon, I say over there because that's where my PC desk is with my monitor, the actual, streaming and capturing PC and all the office equipment and stuff like that is over there. So, I'm setting it up and everything, and I'm getting everything ready to go. And what happens is when I finish the setup, I turn my monitor. So instead of facing that way towards the chair, I turn it so it faces this setup over here where I'm actually, streaming from. And as
wasn't this supposed to be like a really cool setup that nobody else has, that's not dented like all the other people who set up their offices in the corner of a room and stream from there? Because to me, this just sounds like probably the world's worst setup. But hey, DSP has a different opinion on everything than the rest of the world. So
as I turn the monitor on this stand, it's on a stand that lifts the monitor up, I'd argue around 6 to 7 inches off of the surface of my desk. I turn the monitor and I let go, and the monitor falls completely off of the stand, and it falls so hard that it knocks my speaker off. It actually pulls the wires that are also the modem. So the whole modem falls off and comes crashing down to the floor. The monitor itself hits the corner of my PC, creating a giant scratch through the monitor, a big curved scratch. And the whole PC gets all its wires pulled. So the webcam's USB cord popped out, and it hit the restart button on the front of the PC, restarting the PC as well. And I'm like, what in the holy hell just happened? I mean, what a bad way to start a day when I'm about to be streaming all day, and I'm looking like scared. I'm like, did I just damage my whole setup? You know what I mean? Like, did I damage my computer? Did I damage the monitor? Well, I did. I damaged the monitor. The monitor now has this giant scratch on it that it doesn't look like it's going to be repaired. What I did is I used some glass cleaner and electronic cleaning cloth, and I sprayed it and, basically buffed the whole monitor. And there were spots where there were damage that I did get it off, but now there is a huge curving scratch, okay?
Imagine this is the thing you're talking about when you have a lot of points to make on an important topic of how you treated your entire audience like shit yesterday and you dumped on every game that they chose for a viewer's choice marathon. And you're going to sit here and talk about yourself and your own problems. And I was going to say to garner sympathy from his audience before he gets into this story, but to me, I think he's just talking about himself, honestly. I think he's just me. This guy can't really talk about anything other than himself, and he just needs a story to fill some space. It's weird.
In the monitor. And I was like, oh my God, great. There's not much I can do about it. I'm not going to buy a whole new monitor just because there's a scratch on it. It's distracting. Like as I'm sitting here, I'm staring at it. It keeps catching my eye.
By the way, YouTube has been arguing in chat over here. A lot of people have been arguing with Cade, and some people are agreeing with him. But yeah, his chats are even arguing, and they're all pissed off about yesterday. And you know things are bad when DSP's YouTube chat is pretty pissed off.
I think eventually what will happen is I'll get used to it. But I mean, you want to talk about that's how the freaking you know, how the day started. And I'm like, oh my God, right? Like I guess a taste of things to come. Okay. So the premise of viewers' choice is that this is an event where the viewers of my content, not me, but the viewers of my content, nominate and then vote for games that I'm going to play during a marathon setting. The purpose of the viewers' choice marathon is simple. Let's play a variety of games in a short period of time so that basically we can get a good idea of games that maybe I either haven't played or maybe I haven't played in a long time, and we can get a taste for them and see what they are. Are these games that basically just don't fit my content style, or are these games that maybe are interesting and I just haven't had a chance to play them yet? And now, having tested them in this marathon setting, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. Okay. So typically, when I do one of these marathons, there's a few good games, there's a few big duds. There's usually a couple troll nominations, you know, trolls trying to get games in there that they know are not going to work. Well, this time around, okay, because we were kind of rushing to set this whole thing up.
Who is we? This guy was begging so hard on Tuesday to do the marathon the next day on Wednesday that he rolled a goal over from the stream before because he was desperate to hit it. He was like, this is bullshit. I'm rolling the goal over from the day stream to the night stream. Let's get $300 tonight. He miraculously hit it with an anonymous tip right at the end of that stream. He wanted to do this marathon. He was rushing to do it. And let's take a look at that clip. This is 2 nights ago from Tuesday night, the day before the marathon, when he was really trying to hit that goal and no money was coming in during Call of Duty. This is what happened.
Oh my God. Now I'm pissed. Now I can't even concentrate and I'm pissed off. I'm pissed. Do you want me to be honest? I'm pissed off because I play better when I'm relaxed, when I'm like, okay, everything's good. We hit our goals. We got fun stuff coming up. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off that last minute shit, I gotta wait for it, and it might or might not happen. If it doesn't happen, we gotta wait another day for the marathon that I wanted to do on Sunday. It's frustrating. I can't concentrate right now. I literally can't. I'm trying to concentrate. It's just fucking... Look, I can't even get a shot off.
Spotted an enemy.
This guy was so desperate. He couldn't even play Call of Duty. He couldn't concentrate. The money in the back of his mind was f***ing his brain up so bad because he wasn't getting donations to hit this marathon goal that he couldn't even concentrate on Call of Duty. Now, I don't know. I'm no doctor. I'm no psychiatrist. But this motherfucker needs professional help, dude. Because I don't know anybody in the world that acts like this. This childish to be 43 years old. Like, oh, I can't even play Call of Duty, guys. I can't concentrate. I haven't had money coming in and to do this marathon. I really wanted to do it on Sunday, and now it's Wednesday, and like he's freaking out. It's pathetic, man. A grown man like acting like this. You need to separate yourself from the internet. He always says this too. He's always like, because they don't know what reality is, like insulting the people that he's talking about. But Phil, it couldn't be further from the truth when you say that, because you don't know what reality is.
I didn't really have time to say screen or how can I say How can I explain this properly? Normally, when we do a viewer's choice marathon, there's like a month buildup, right? So there's like 2 weeks where people nominate. Then we
Why are you using this as an excuse when you're the one that rushed the marathon? But you're going to continue to blame the viewers as, oh, we needed to do this. We needed to rush it, and we wanted to really do it. But nobody has control over that except Philip Burnell, the guy that we're watching right now, the moronic streamer, Philip Burnell. But nobody has that information except for the guy that we're watching right now, Philip J. Burnell. I don't know his middle name, but
we narrow that down. We look at the games that were most nominated. We can figure out what works, what doesn't, what's this game, what's that game. Then usually there's a poll or a series of polls, and we talk about it. There's hype buildup, right? In this case, because we were trying to fast forward into this marathon. Remember, we hadn't even discussed or determined that this 50-goal marathon event would actually be viewer's choice until like a week ago.
Nor did you legitimately hit your goals. And that's what throws this whole thing off too, is this guy faked goals and fake tips from what we're assuming, right? What we've seen and what seems obvious. It seems like he had faked it to make it. He faked all the goals and all the money coming in to get this marathon to happen. But like, you've got this entire goal system that you center your streams around, and you can't ever even keep it consistent. You're always like bending the rules to do certain things to hit goals, or like you don't count certain things like YouTube re-ups, they don't count, or YouTube membership only counts $3 because YouTube takes a cut. So now the viewer has to suffer for the penalties and taxes that you got to pay YouTube. It's all bullshit, and it's all thrown into question when this guy just kind of does what he wants, and the validity of it goes right out the window when you decide to start carrying goals over from your first stream just so you can hit another goal in your second stream. It was super bizarre and super desperate.
Right? Not even maybe. It was like last minute. We were trying to rush through. Okay. So because of that, I just really didn't have enough time to fully flesh out games that I think would have worked in this event. I basically tried to just believe that people who nominated games had my best interests at heart.
But it's not your best interest at heart. And this is why you're so selfish and everybody hates you. Because this was a viewer's choice marathon. You were supposed to play what the viewers chose and what they wanted to see you play. But again, here we are. It's all about me. This is what I would have liked. This is what I wanted to play. No, dude, it's called the viewer's choice marathon. That must not be clear to one of us. Because if it was my viewer's choice marathon, I would play the games that the people in my chat or in my YouTube polls recommend. And it is what it is. You're allowed to dislike Kingdom Come. Hey, it's a beautiful game. It's great. You know, it's just not for me. I can't really get into it. The story isn't holding me over. You know, the art style is great. You know, I could see somebody getting immersed in this. He said none of that. Nothing positive about the game. He shit on it. And here we are. Oh, everybody's putting words in my mouth like I never liked the game. All I said was I never liked the beginning of the game. I never said I disliked it. Well, Phil, if you play 2 hours of a game, it's pretty obvious that you don't like it when you're supposed to be immersed, you know, about 2 hours in and you have no interest in continuing to play it. But hey.
All right. I'm going to be honest with you. In some cases, I do believe that was the case. And in other cases, I feel like games were directly nominated and voted for because the parties who did that knew those would not work either for my content creation style or for the marathon.
But if you know your content creation style, maybe you should have put a little more rules in place because those games did fit the criteria. And you know what's even more embarrassing? At the beginning of the marathon, when he was doing his stupid, pointless podcast in the beginning, he was tallying up all the games that he was going to play. You know, all the games between the two polls that got the most votes. And he's looking there and he's selecting Kingdom Come and like Counter-Strike 2 or something. And he's like, these are the games that I would have chose. So you would have chose Kingdom Come 2, right? But now you're shitting on everybody else for choosing it and saying only trolls chose these games. Only trolls chose Counter-Strike 2. But disregard any viewers that you had that legitimately chose those. And you probably just threw them right out the window by calling them trolls. But
okay, there's a couple cases here that we can cover. So let's talk about the marathon itself. First game was Counter-Strike 2. And the funny part was, I actually think that my trolls thought this game was not going to work.
Or it's just one of the most popular FPS shooters on PC still. Like, a lot of people play it. You wanted me to prove it, Phil? Because you're going to just say I'm talking about my ass and trolls chose this game. Right now, you have playing 33 minutes ago, you have 1.2 million people playing Counter-Strike 2. And you're going to say trolls chose it when it's such a popular game. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
But I think it was actually the opposite because they didn't realize I had actually played Counter-Strike 1 back in the day. They thought that I'm so used to the run and gun gameplay of Call of Duty that if I played a game that was very tactical, very much if you get shot once, you're pretty much dead kind of a game, that I was going to rage and I was going to freak out. And it wasn't the case at all. In fact, I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to remember how these games were back in the day. Games like original Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six, that's how they were. They were just very, very tactical.
He called Counter-Strike 2 realistic. Counter-Strike 2 is an arcade shooter, dude. And it's all about spray patterns and whatnot. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's not a run and gun game like Call of Duty. You know, like, it's so stupid.
Tactical, where you had to play very carefully. You had to set stuff up. You had to wait and sit and be very patient. And then the moment that they come around the corner,
No, you don't. Not necessarily. I mean, if that's your play style in Counter-Strike, sure, but not everybody plays like that. And honestly, if you wanted it to be more entertaining, dude, you should have just played deathmatch. Like, you should have just went into a deathmatch server and just started shooting people. I think you would have had more fun playing it like Call of Duty.
you blast them, right? That's what it was.
You got a tip.
Someone tipped the book and says, it sucks your monitor got scratched. Can you show us the damage? I could, but who cares?
I mean, the guy that tipped a buck cares. He tipped you $1 to ask about it. He wanted to see it. I mean, not that you can fix a scratch like that, but like in theory, maybe he's like, oh, I have a recommendation you can do with that. I mean, his monitor's borked anyway, but yeah, let's shit on the guy that tipped us anything at all, like scraps in Phil's eyes. Why would you not see that, dude? You're a weirdo. Nobody wants to see a scratch on my monitor. All right, moving on.
Who cares? Not a big deal. Thanks for the $1 tip.
What a dickhead. Such a dickhead.
Anyway, so then we moved on to the second game. Now, the second game was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. All right? And for me, I was intrigued at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is a game that came out in, what was it, February? At the time it came out, there really was nothing else going on in gaming. There was like no other games coming out that week. So it got a lot of hype and a lot of attention at the time of release because basically there was kind of nothing else happening or going down at that point. The game then apparently got incredibly popular and everyone liked it and played it. And people were kind of yelling at me at the time, Phil, why aren't you playing it? And I was like, well, I saw my wife play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 for a while. She didn't like it. I didn't like watching her play. It didn't seem like a very good game to me. And, you know, that's my take. That's my opinion. And it's my prerogative to have that opinion. I don't have to like every single game that everyone likes, just like I don't have to dislike every single game everyone dislikes. We've seen that recently with games like South of Midnight, where I played it for 2.5 hours and I loved it. And the entire audience told me, no, the game is woke crap. Don't ever play it again. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to that. I didn't see that. I was liking it, but I'm not going to keep playing something you're complaining about and don't want to see. Okay? So, in this case, I was like, you know.
What about Stellar Blade when it was promised as a 100 goals hit reward game where he said, I will do a full playthrough of Stellar Blade when we hit 100 goals? You know what he did? He played it on his last Viewer's Choice Marathon for 15 minutes and hated it from the second it started and crapped on the game the entire time, said other games did everything better than it. It just wasn't a good game. And if it wasn't, it wasn't. But Phil doesn't give these games the time of day. And if he has an opinion on something, he'll fight you tooth and nail to it, especially if he knows trolls are involved. Even if he did like Kingdom Come a little bit, he had to automatically hate it because he can't give the trolls a win. And unfortunately, that's everything that DSP does. It revolves around trolls and how they can't be on top, and he's always got to take the W, and he realistically almost never takes the W. It's pretty pathetic.
No, since people are nominating it and they want to see it, allow me to check it out and see if it's actually good or not. Viewer's Choice is a good opportunity to do that. Playing for an hour or more, you get a good taste of what a game is supposed to be, right? And then you can say, is it good or not? You know, maybe I was misjudging it. You know, recently, a couple months ago, I did a 5 Nights at Freddy's marathon. And during that marathon, actually giving 5 Nights at Freddy's a fair shake and enough time.
I don't even want to talk about that one. He sat there reading chat the entire time to handhold them through the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and also didn't like that. He was more focused on the alcohol, as usual.
I actually liked it. Wasn't in love with it, and I certainly think that it's overhyped by a lot of people, but I appreciated it for what it was. So I was kind of approaching Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in that same regard, that, hey, let's together check this out. Let's see if it's any good, right? So, again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it extra long or whatever. I played it for over 2 hours. On a marathon like this, I really should have only given it an hour, but I kept playing it, and here's why. Arguably, 75% of the time that we were playing it, it was just cutscenes, or cutscenes with a dialogue choice that really didn't matter. There was actual dialogue that's timed. It's like, well, say something. You don't have to say anything. You can just be quiet and nothing changes in the story or anything. So it's kind of the illusion of choice where it makes you feel like something's important, but it's not.
I haven't played the game yet, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say at some point, choices probably do matter with this game, from what I've heard at least. But if you're only in the beginning of the game, how are you going to know what choices truly matter? You haven't beat the game. You haven't played it. What if some of these things you have selected actually make a difference down the line? You know, I couldn't tune into much of his Kingdom Come stream. I actually didn't tune into much of his marathon at all. I caught a lot of the clips. I was just busy. I was cleaning up yesterday. I had some stuff to do around the house. But right now he's talking about how he doesn't like the game and something he doesn't like about the game, when I feel like he's misjudging it, or he hasn't even given the game a fair shake. This is just his conclusion that he's come to by playing the first hour of the game and being like, oh, this doesn't matter. You don't even have to choose this. I don't know. Leave a comment, because I'd like to hear from y'all if anybody's played it. Do choices really matter? Is Phil right here? Is he coping? It seems like a cope.
But man, what actual gameplay did I do in the 2+ hours that I did of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? We did the combat tutorial, which not only did I learn, but then I won the first fight, which was challenging because it was the first fight. I don't know much, but I won it. There was a dice gambling game that we did. Okay. And outside of that, there was 2 sneaking segments that lasted less than a couple of minutes each. And then that was it. It was all cutscenes. And then at the end of the 2 hours, just get this, okay? You are naked. You are hurt, injured. And the first mission the game sends you off to do after sitting 2 hours through introduction is go harvest some chamomile herbs in the forest. Okay? Now. I tried my best to give this game a fair shake, okay? If anything, what I can factually assess about the game is that the first 2 hours just aren't very good. I'm not saying that that means that the entirety of the game is bad. In fact, I would argue I don't know how so many people could actually like the game if overall the game actually is bad. All right? I think
You notice he's said this much about the game, but hasn't said one positive thing about it. Oh, the game looks beautiful, you know? It's got a great environment. Character voices, they sound very accurate to the time period. That's what I meant to say. He says nothing nice about the game. And like, that's the most telling part, is we're just going to talk about the negatives because that's all he feels about the game.
it just has a really bad intro. Like, it's so slow moving. It's snail's pace. The blabbing, blah, 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 blah. They're just blabbermouthing everything in the intro. When you're playing a game and you want to get into it, you want to experience what that game is all about right from the get-go. And then if they want to do story elaboration or whatever, then you do that. In this game, 2 hours, and I had no idea what this was, what it was. At the end of the 2 hours, I still had no clue what this game is because I'd barely played anything. I just sat there watching cutscenes, okay? So the truth is, maybe it's good. But I, as you guys know, I'm a very honest guy. And
no matter how many times he says that he's honest, he's an honest guy, he's going to be honest with you, none of it's true. This guy has been dishonest more in his life than he's ever been honest, which is very telling. If somebody's a streamer and they get on stream and go, if I wanted to fake a tip, you guys would never even know. You don't even know if I get a tip. You don't even know what's real or what's fake. Would you really trust somebody like that if they said something like that to you? You don't even know if I ever get a fake tip. You don't even know it's real. No, you wouldn't. And he's very dishonest. So, you know, as much as he likes to claim to be honest and claim to be an honest guy, the track record that's factually kept on this guy via internet clips and just recording his entire life on the internet, basically. So when he says something and then contradicts it later and his lie comes out, it happens all the time with him. What about the push-up scam, DSP, where you charge somebody a certain amount of money to do push-ups, they never gave you the money, you banned them, then a couple of years later you get on camera with Kino Casino, says, I never even did the push-ups. I was scamming the guy. Like, you're a dishonest guy, DSP. Let's all be real. I just want to make that clear.
React and respond in a way that's very honest and matter of fact. And so 2 hours in, I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm bored to tears. I can't believe how bad this is. Like, this is one of the worst intros I've ever experienced in a game. I don't know why. It's snail's pace. It's so boring. I can barely pay attention. I'm so just not interested. I have no clue why you didn't actually, like, play the game for more than, like, 5 minutes in the first 2 hours. It's very confusing, okay? So, basically, when I said that, right, the entire stream freaked out, claiming that I was dumping on the game, that I was saying that it was an awful game. I just don't get it. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
Where is it coming from? Let's take a look at where it's coming from. Because you didn't say one positive thing about the game. Not one single good thing about the game. So what are people to assume?
Still waiting. I told you guys I was going to play each game in the marathon an hour. It's an hour and 45 minutes. Now, yes, 15, 20 minutes we were derailed. Still, where's the fucking video game? Stop being ball suckers for 5 seconds and see it from the perspective of a person who's not a massive fan of the series and didn't buy into the hype in February. I'm just trying to understand, is the game good? But where's the fucking game? I need to see the game. We need to get to it. I'm still waiting. Someone tipped $2, says, you know, it's crazy. You outright told your audience the guidelines for the marathon. Please pick a game that's quick to jump into.
First of all, this is a fake tip. And why do I assume that? Because he's reading this tip off because he wants to have it like another party is out there agreeing with him. I don't think he ever says thank you. I don't think he ever acknowledges the person. He just says, exactly, and then goes on the rant. Look it.
Someone tipped $2, says, you know, it's crazy. You outright told your audience the guidelines for the marathon. Please pick a game that's quick to jump into. Something that's not cutscene or dialogue heavy. Then they nominate this and they vote it all the way up, and now they're mad at you for playing it. Yeah, because again, it seems like that was the entire marathon, no? So they nominated Lost Records, which everyone knows is awful. And
what was that guy's name? Where's the thank you for the $2? Like, was that a real tip, DSP?
they want me to play that so everyone will complain. They now apparently have nominated a visual novel that's terrible and one of the most obnoxious ones ever made. Okay. They nominate this game that has a 2-hour intro. So basically the trolls derailed the whole marathon, right? Like, that's it. Like, what else am I supposed to be doing?
How are trolls derailing your marathon when 2 extremely popular games were nominated here? But fill me in, Phil, because CS2, as we looked at, is 1.2 million players playing it right now. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is most people's game of the year. It's doing really well. There's a lot of people that are playing it. There's a lot of people that bought it. How are they trolls nominating these games when they're just largely liked by the public?
I'm playing what people nominated and voted for, and they're all awful. You know?
And they're all awful. So you just called Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance awful, but now you're not understanding why people are saying that you didn't like the game. And Phil's an honest guy, remember that.
Counter-Strike 2 is actually good. The thing is, people were like, they thought I wasn't going to like it. No, I like Counter-Strike 2. Why? Because I played it before. It's a good game. It's very outdated compared to modern action games, right? Like Call of Duty being so crazy. But it's a good game. Like, legit, I would play that again if people would show up and actually care about it. I would play Counter-Strike 2 again. Yes, I would. But this, like, where's the fucking video game? Yeah, this...
But you said Trolls nominated Counter-Strike too. What are you talking about? He can't even keep his fucking story straight. But yeah, we got a lot of this.
RPGs have them. It's called story setup. Yes, so why would you nominate it for a marathon? Where the criteria were clearly said, we're only going to play each game for an hour. So
because it's a viewer's choice marathon, Phil. Why else would they fucking nominate it? You allow them to nominate any game. You didn't put a poll out with specific games. You allowed people to comment on your post and say, hey, I want to play Barbie Simulator 2024. And if that game got 1,000 likes, you would play it.
why would you do that? I rest my case.
You should rest your career too, dude, because it's done. It's over. It's over for this guy. Well, probably
It's
not.
just stupidity.
He's a roach.
And it's DSP's fault. No, stupid.
No, stupid.
No, sorry, stupid. I'm really trying to get to a good part of the game. Really, I am. But where is it? Can I play a game? How many more hours do I have to sit here doing nothing with a insanely slow-paced, boring intro? So they're saying, miraculously, you survived a terrible fall, but now you've lost all of your levels and skills. Okay, great.
It makes me anxious too.
There was no game. I didn't make it up. I didn't program that intro. I played it honestly. I reacted honestly. The game's intro is terrible. Maybe the actual game is better, but I don't care because I didn't get to it. The game is fucking awful in the first 2 hours. That was legit one of the worst intro sequences I've ever experienced in any video game. They fucked it up. I'm trying to be an entertaining streamer. I can't do that with that. That's not entertainment. Seto did a $5 super chat. Play something you enjoy instead of crying. You have free will. You're a 40-year-old man. Grow up and use your free will. It's a viewer's choice marathon, you incredible fucking buffoon. That means the viewers nominated and voted on the games to play today, not me. I don't choose the games during viewer's choice. Hence the name, Viewer's Choice.
But you shit all over the games that they like, so yeah.
Holy shit. You can't make it up. You can't make up the stupidity, the level of stupidity of what you just said. I received a $2 tip. I can't wait to read it. Holzberg says, don't pass the 2 hours if you're going to ask for a refund on Steam. Can I ask you guys a question, an honest question? Why are you guys talking about refunds on Steam? Really? Guys, I've been trying to explain this to you as well, and it seems like no one listens to me, okay? I'm not poor, okay? I can buy games on a whim and play them and like them or not. I don't have to get a refund on Steam, okay? You know, I haven't been sitting here bitching, man, I spent so much money on today's stream. I haven't said that once, okay? So I just dropped $50 on it to play it during this event. I'm playing it. I'm trying to create entertaining content from it. There is nothing. There's nothing to be had. Why are you so concerned about me getting a refund? I don't need
He also complained about this game before he bought it earlier. He's like, $60. How is this game $60 still? Like, he's complaining about the price of every single game that he was playing. He complained about the price of Mario being $60 or $50 still, whatever it was. He literally complained about every game so far, or in this marathon's entirety, and just complained about the price. So he's a fucking cheapskate or he's poor. I mean, one or the other. And I'm going to assume it's both because he constantly feels the need to beg for money on stream, right? The worst part about this is he goes through such lengths right here to prove that he's not poor that he launches the game back up, plays for 10 minutes so it hits 2.1 hours just to prove to the trolls and all the people that are telling him to not pass the 2 hours to get the refund, to prove a point. This guy just wasted money to prove a point that he's not poor instead of just refunding the game that he didn't like any normal person would. That's the most pathetic part about all this.
a refund. I can literally never refund this. It's okay. Here, in fact, you know, watch this. Ready? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to boot it up. So it's 2 hours and 1 minute. So I can't get the refund. Okay? So then you guys can stop being so ridiculous and be like, but the refund.
He's tapped. This guy has just lost any sanity he had left. But yeah, that was kind of a recap from last night's Kingdom Come 2 meltdown.
Because that's actually not what happened. And all I can surmise is that the reason that this game was actually mass nominated and voted on for the marathon is because, again, much like with other games that the trolls tend to nominate, like Lost Records or something, they knew that this game would not work for the marathon.
Okay. Something that's really been bothering me that I gotta say is the trolls recommended Lost Records, right? Was it really the trolls that recommended this game? Probably had a hand in it. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'm sure there's some trolls that'd be like, oh, he would totally hate playing this game. But at the same time, this is the same guy that plays Life is Strange. He played the first Lost Records. He plays all these weird teen fantasy dating games, you know, like he plays all these games for his audience. So why is it so out of the norm that you would get these votes for a game like this? You play all these weird games anyway, and not to disrespect the people that like them, but, you know, a lot of them are meant for a younger audience, right? So it's weird to see a 43-year-old play games like this that he supposedly doesn't enjoy, but yet the next Life is Strange will come out and he'll go and he'll be the first in line to play it on stream. So that I think is weird. But yeah, I mean, anything he can do to push any blame off of himself to blame trolls, because that's all he's got. All he can do is blame the people that don't like him, that would go against him because they want to see him suffer, quote unquote. Yeah, I feel like this video's running a little long. I'm going to cut it off here, and then I'll probably do another video. Maybe it'll be a part 2 to this tomorrow, and we'll talk about some more stuff, because I'm sure he's still going off on the podcast. Yeah, drop a comment. Appreciate y'all. Leave a like. Peace.